Yo, 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 what is up, party people? I gotta come up with a better intro. I just do the yo, yo, yo while I'm doing the start streaming.
In the party people.
Maybe we could work on that tonight. I don't know. What are would we have a name for the base? Flock Nation. Let's ride. Let's fly.
Fuck Nation, let's fly.
Yeah, we'll work on that. We gotta come with something better.
Fuck Nation, don't die.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, fun games, good games tonight. Let's kick it off. I guess maybe we should start with the clickbaity title that we went through. Actually, let's do a little news and notes. How about that? You know, we've had some key injuries. We've got some guys coming back. Kawhi has played 2 games with like decent minutes, right? It was kind of the thing at the beginning of the season when he was being eased back, and it was like he's not starting and he's playing 22 minutes. All right, he's out, injury management, but 2 games, not back to back, but you know, two stretch of 2 games where he's played decent minutes. Should I be worried about Trae Young? I think this was something we talked about a lot, where we were fading DeJounte Murray more than we were fading Trae Young, just because the expectation was, how are you going to take usage away from a guy like Trae significantly, right? Like, we expected Murray to play some on ball because that's just what his skill set is, right? He's not like a spot up shooter, so that's not going to run solely through Trae. That just doesn't make sense. But I really didn't expect it to be like this. But I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't think Trae is like a freak out worry, but you're going to have some up and down games just because you have another star playing next to him, right? Like, who has Trae played next to in his entire career that is like on the level of Murray from a usage perspective? No one close, right?
Yeah, I don't think you should freak out. I mean, he's shooting just much poorer than he has in the past. His points are like his stats are pretty good, right? He's just shooting 41% from the field this season versus 46% last season, 41% the 2 before. So the percentages are just down. You know, you'd expect that to kind of return to the mean, closer to 43, 44. We're still putting up 27, 3, 9.5. Like, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah,
it's very, very roller coastery. I mean, that's
I think it will be more up and down, right? Because Trae in the past, it was kind of like he would have inconsistent games where it was like, Trae shot awful from 3, only put up 19 points tonight. But like the assist numbers were always there. There was always this like safe floor every game. I feel like he'll put up similar numbers. He'll approach the numbers that he was putting up. It just will be more inconsistent. Right, where he'll still have the blow up Trae games where he's like, holy crap, 30 and 11 from Trae, let's go. But he's going to give you some of these like 19 and 5 games, which doesn't kill you, but obviously is not expected. Yo, What is up, Andrew? Who is a drop for when Pirtle comes off IR? Beasley, Hardaway, Amard, Vando. A couple interesting names. Lean Vando, but could be wrong. Yeah. There's some interesting stuff tonight.
Jared Vanderbilt,
because he didn't start tonight. Laurie was out and Kessler got the start.
I saw that.
But
yeah.
So I don't think. So it's 12 team, 9 cat.
Oh, you're talking about. Okay, yeah, never mind. Sorry.
No, you're good. Kessler needs to be taking the minutes potentially. Yeah, so I saw I think some reports I saw were obviously Markkanen was out, so it made sense that Kessler was like, potentially in that and taking some minutes, at least tonight. He has been playing a little bit more, and obviously you expect that a little bit with like rookies, right? But I will say that there was a nod, I think, to size being a reason why Kessler got the nod, but I think I don't know the exact reports. If anyone knows in the chat what the exact wording was, but I thought something along the lines of what I gathered was he got the nod, the starting nod, because of like the size matchup, but that it wasn't the only reason he was starting, right? There was kind of like a little like wishy-washy, like, okay, he hasn't like earned it 100%, but like it's not that he didn't earn it. So it was a little bit of a matchup thing. Obviously Markkanen was out too, but yeah, I think. Man.
I would probably go. I would probably. Yeah. I
I
think
think
right
I
now
think
maybe Vanderbilt, but
yeah, and I think the thing with me is like some of these guys are close, right? And I think Vanderbilt for me feels like the one that I wouldn't be sad that I dropped. Like I don't see a world where I'm disappointed that he was the drop, but I could see that for some of these other guys. Not to like an
yeah,
extreme
probably the
level, but
lowest
like
Staley.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I
how do you feel
agree.
about Hardaway? I know he's kind of been he's not
Yeah, he's
he's not going to do what he's been doing, but I think
right.
it's hard to
He's one of
drop
those
him while
guys.
he's doing it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's what you just said, right? I think he's a guy that if you do drop you, he can make you be like, dang, I shouldn't have dropped him because he can pop off and he's gonna have these good stretches where he just shoots really well and efficiently. And I mean, it's kind of like it's almost like Beasley, right? He's just gonna give you a good amount of shots and points and threes, sprinkle in barely any peripherals, some defensive like upside, I guess. But like,
Yeah.
it's all points and threes. So if you're looking for points and threes, obviously you're gonna keep Beasley and Hardaway.
Yeah, and I do think
If you're
that's
dropping Beasley, it's like, okay, then why are you keeping? You know what I mean? Like that's a little weird to me. I feel
yeah,
like
I
you're
think we do talk about this sometimes that like a lot of the times points are the category that we're fine with losing some leverage in, right, on these drop decisions. Because, but I will say, like, what, right, you talk about just riding Hardo out last. He's at that spot stream. Oh, yeah, for sure. I think I mean, here's what I will say. In a 12-team league, I think you'll probably drop one of those guys when Pirtle comes back and then end up dropping another one, like a Hardaway or something, depending on, like, what the next week or so looks like. So I wouldn't, like, stress out too much about it right now. Because I agree. I think you will want to probably play waivers with those guys because I don't think they're, like, must roster 100%. But yeah, like we talk about in general, I know we've talked about this before, but obviously depending on what the week looks like and everything for like a category head-to-head matchup, but we tend to think that, and this isn't a perfect rule, but if the reason you're picking one player over the other is because they give you a slight points edge, I usually prefer the peripherals in a category league. Obviously, depending on your construction, right? Are you looking for threes from a guy? Are you stronger in certain areas? But I think typically points are one of those things where like so many are scored. It's like the difference between somebody who averages like 12 points and another guy who averages 9 isn't really that big of a difference in the grand scheme of how it impacts your total points for a week, right? You're not going to get killed because your guy who averages 9 had 8 points average that week and the guy who averages 12 had 13, right? Like for a week, that's not going to kill you.
yeah.
Thoughts on Jaden Ivey? You came to the right place. Where can you see it? I'm wearing the Pistons hoodie. Let's go. We're Pistons fans, so we love him like our son. I will say I was talking to one of my buddies tonight. We were talking about Jaden Ivey, and I was saying, man, he has impressed. Not just like I knew he was dynamic, and I knew he'd be a good player, but he's impressed in ways I didn't expect him to immediately be good at. Right. The biggest questions for him as a rookie heading into the season were, can he facilitate, right? That was kind of something he struggled with. It wasn't had some turnover issues, wasn't the greatest passer at Purdue, right? Was more of a at the basket scorer and wasn't a great 3-point shooter. That was kind of the two things was like, can he be consistent in the league? And it's been pretty good. 2 for 5 tonight. Actually not that great of a game tonight. 12 and 2. I only watched the first. I was only able to catch the start of the second half of this one when Bogey got the double tech eject. But I like Ivy. I wouldn't freak out and like you get some of these like games where he doesn't shoot a ton or anything. Man, I feel like we should be talking about Killian. I feel like he deserves the airtime right now versus Ivy, who I love. I love Ivy, and I think he's gonna like you'll get games like these right where he just.
I think another thing too is ever since Cade went down, they've been changing the lineup so much. They bring Sadiq Bey off the bench, Stewart and Duren and Bagley in a rotation.
Yeah,
Bagley's out
Burks.
for the start. You have Burks coming back. You have Stewart leaving and then coming back. You have Bagley coming in. The rotation and everything is changing so much. And I think for a rookie like Ivy, especially now where he's going to have, a good amount of weight on his shoulders to kind of lead this team without Cade, and having this lineup change so drastically so often in the NBA, and he's still trying to adjust to like the professional league. I think I can't imagine it caters well to him having like immediate growth, right? So I think this could just be a lull that's maybe connected to, getting used to the different lineups, the different rotations, all these different things going on. So there's not a
Yeah.
lot of consistency right now on this Pistons team, so that can't help either. So I think
Yeah.
with time it'll just get better, but like this lull, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, and I will say too, and I just want to like set expectations. I think Ivy's start, if you remember some of those games, I mean,
Yeah.
he was incredible. Like even games with Cade, like he was having double doubles with rebounds. It's like, okay, no one expected that. Really high assist games with like good scoring too. I think I expect him to be somewhere in between where he's been in this cold stretch and what he did to start. Like I really think of him as a player, even without Cade, he's probably going to end up on the season being like a 4-5 assist guy, like a 13 to 15 point per game guy. Um,
Ivy.
yeah, Ivy.
Yeah.
And like a couple rebounds. And that's like not bad for a rookie, right? I know it's like not what you want to hear as a fantasy asset, but as a rookie, that's just kind of expectation you have to have. Thoughts on Cade Cunningham holding back Killian Hayes? Dude, I'm so happy and I feel so vindicated. And yes, Killian tomorrow could shoot 0 for 7 from 3 and have 8 turnovers, and we would have the is Killian actually still a bust conversation. But this is so good for him. Like, obviously, I'm devastated that Cade is out, but dude, Killian getting to, and I was talking to my buddy tonight where we were saying, dude, it's perfect scenario for Killian to get to like play some true point and like get some run, you know? That's what Casey talked about too. I mean, that was Casey's biggest thing. He was like, man, like I don't know if a reporter or somebody asked him questions about like Killian or anything, but he was talking about like just getting him run and getting him minutes. G League was never a thought in his mind. It was like, we're not trying to win a championship. We're trying to like build up our young core. And that's what he's, what's up, Kev? Killian, Killy him. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, I mean, you joke about it being inconsistent. There's times where he'll, is he going to play the next game and have a dud late ag, and people are going to get back on his case. I mean, come on. The last 2 weeks have been pretty incredible. So
yeah,
Killian's back. Not even back. Killian's finally here. No, it does feel good though, and he's 21. He's still super young for being his third year in the league.
Mm-hmm.
He's 21. Like this is a guy that we knew was going to be a longer term project. And it kind of was hindered a little bit, I guess, with kind of stumbling into Cade in the first pick and kind of playing ahead of him and him not being the primary ball handler. But it was a lot of, okay, Killian's out there, he's going to be a really good defender, and we'll wait and see on the shot. And that's kind of what it's been. And now he has this glorious opportunity with Cade being out, all these other guys for the Pistons being out here and there. So I like it a lot. I mean, he's shooting a lot. He's shooting well. He's shooting well from 3, which is a huge deal.
Yeah,
We
he
knew
gives
he
you
could
really
pass.
good assist numbers too.
We knew he
He's
could
a really
defend.
savvy defender. Yeah.
Yeah, we knew he could pass and defend, but it's the consistency that we're starting to see in efficiency on shooting at a high volume with the threes, right? It's one thing to be like, okay, he's 4 for 6, he's 5 for 8, he's 4 for 8. Like no, he's like 7 for 18 is kind of mad, but 7 for 13, 5 for 11, 10 for 13, 8 for 17. Like he's shooting a lot. The threes are 2 for 4, 3 for 5, 2 for 4. It's really coming along.
Yeah.
So it is really exciting. Like it's not. This is an unprecedented Killian. Like we've had
Yeah.
these types of talks, specifically as Pistons fans. We've heard this all the time the last 3 years, where it's like he has a game and it's like there he is, and that's just gone. Or there's 2 games, there he is, and it's just gone. This is 2 weeks. I don't think we've seen a 2-week stretch of Killian like this ever.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm we're in the same boat, and I'm gonna like I was actually talking to my friend tonight, and I was like, we find a way to talk about the Pistons for like 15% of the NBA fantasy.
We didn't bring this up. We did not bring this up.
I know. So like I mean, from a fantasy perspective, you ride Killian. I don't even know if like I think everyone's a sell high relative to how people perceive their value, but I don't think that this stretch is like, oh gosh, like he's awful. You guys remember Killian like last season? Like you got to get rid of him for anything. I mean, he's gonna have dud games. Like that's gonna happen, right? He's still not what he's been, but he has that potential to do what he's done over the past 2 weeks. So I think I'm excited. Had no idea you're a Pistons fan. Yes, sir. I got to get some like Pistons stuff in the back. The only time people know is when I wear Pistons stuff on the stream, or if they're on the stream for longer than 5 minutes and we start talking about the Pistons. What happened to Jonte Murray? Yeah, I think it was a ankle sprain is what I saw. Oh, I only played a couple minutes. That sucks. I don't know if we've seen a report on like the severity, but he was questionable to return and obviously didn't come back.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if we have I doubt we'll have an analysis.
Right. Yeah. We usually don't get things until like later that night, like super late, if not like the next day. But yeah, if you let me know if you see anything, but we'll keep scrolling through. Yo, what's up, Jeremy? Doesn't Shai have a large risk of injury though? Yeah. So the clickbaity title is Shai or Ja rest of season, and yeah, I think a lot of players do, right? There's a lot of players who over the past couple seasons, you can just look, right? I think Shai's played like, I think it was like what? I want to say it was like 50 and then like 60 something last season.
Games played?
Yeah, 56. Yeah, 56 and then 35 with the injury. Had the injury heading into the season too. He's just been so good. But now I still like, dude, Ja tonight. I love Ja. I mean, Ja had the injury last season too, but it's really hard to like rank injury risks compared to two players because I wouldn't call Shai like an injury risk versus like if you talk about like Anthony Davis or something, versus.
And yeah, and also, I mean, Shai's got a bit more extensive injury history, but the way that Ja plays, I mean, that guy.
He's an injury risk at the rim.
Yeah, exactly. He's injury risk, and the person he's shooting on is injury risk too. Like he is a downhill runner. I mean, everybody in here knows. So it's like injuries. Yeah, you could talk about them, but it's like at the end of the day, unfortunately, injuries are a thing, and everybody's at risk. Every single player in this league. Some people maybe like Ja are a little bit more risky with their play. But he's young.
Let's
still.
do it. Yeah,
actually does help a lot.
Yeah, and
being young guard like helps a ton.
Yeah, and hey, real quick, I had this thought. I was about to talk about a little spoiler alert. We have a video that's going to be coming out soon where we're talking about some injury risk and players dealing with injuries right now and kind of what you do for them from a fantasy perspective. And I do think it's an interesting conversation of, hey, if I do think there are players who have higher injury risk, why don't I swap with somebody who I think is going to have similar production season long, right? I think that's an interesting viewpoint, but I do think you could probably push back on that and be like, you can't predict injuries with a lot of these guys. It wouldn't be a shock if a player who's played 70 plus games every season just like, is out for a significant amount of time. So that kind of stuff is hard to predict, but
yeah, I think there's players that are now are currently injured, and like you can say everybody has this risk, but then like you mentioned before, there's players that just have an egregious history of injuries or resting, like the Anthony Davises, the Kawhi Leonards, typically the people that are a little bit older in age and have had like major injuries in their career, maybe more than once of the same injury. So like that kind of stuff, it's like, okay, you can buy into that and you can like that actually means something, but for the most part, yeah, it's like I feel like injuries just an unfortunate thing that can happen to anybody on any night. So I wouldn't read too much into it apart from the Davis, Kawhi, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. And real quick, I appreciate you guys being in here. Thanks for hanging out, watching. Like, subscribe if you're not a part. And real quick, we'll get right into the questions. But if you don't have an Underdog fantasy account and you want to get a 100% deposit match up to $100 if you use code Canyon, that's Canyon right there. That's him. He's Canyon. That's his real name. Okay. It's not a stage name. All right. That's Canyon. You get it right. Don't get it twisted. I was kind of stalling.
C-A-N-Y-O-N, enter.
I was stalling so the thing could fly by while I talk about it. Links in the description. Use that promo code down there. 100% deposit match up to $100. Player props. If you guys are into sports betting stuff. We also have a sports betting channel.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Bro, let's get back into it. Thoughts on Kawhi? Actually, no, I see this one right here real quick. Sorry. Traded Fox for Ja. Thoughts category. That's a holy W in both, in my opinion. I think, like, obviously points. And even in Cat, like, I know Ja's not known as, like a category guy, but, like, on this season, he's been better than Fox, I think, in all Cats, right? I mean, obviously the scoring, most Cats. I think, obviously, the scoring. I think the rebound and assist numbers, I mean, he's been pretty good. I don't know if you expect that to be super strong season long, but he's been doing it. And yeah, and Ja, he's been shooting threes too. He's been shooting pretty good from three, man. Like,
yeah, I think it is something that can sustain. We saw it near the tail end of last season. The rebounding rate went up a ton. Yep. Which is like something with a player as active as him. And we talk about, going in transition, you want the ball in your point guard's hands off the, defensive rebound. So naturally, like people like him, Russell Westbrook, that's why they're such high rebounders, because they lead the pace and lead the transition. for one, and then two, it's like the assist. Like they have such a talented squad, and he is the point guard, so it's really up to him if he wants to unleash that part of his game or to facilitate more. And I think he's been doing that, which is a huge W for fantasy owners. So I really like the peripherals that we're seeing out of him,
Yeah.
and then obviously the ceiling of scoring is just unreal.
Yeah, and we love. I mean, we both love Fox, but I don't even
Yeah,
think it's like a conversation. Like I think it's just
no,
so clearly Ja.
no, it is.
Um,
I also yeah, I love Fox, but that's just how good Ja is. So
yeah. Is Fultz a hold 12-team points league? ESPN. Yeah, I like Fultz. I mean,
I do too.
12 team Fultz.
Yeah,
I think I was really surprised at how quickly he's been playing really really strong minutes. I know we had the report that his first game was going to be 17 minutes. I know this game was a bad Fultz game. He just did not
the
shoot.
Clippers. This
Yeah,
one tonight,
four assists, 2 boards. Like I you look at this game and it's going to be like, oh gosh, do I even hold on to this guy? But like I look at 28 minutes, 32.
Yep.
Like I feel pretty good about him playing starter minutes, and I think we've seen enough from Fultz, like in his career and last season, that like he can give you decent scoring, assist and rebounding numbers. I don't think he's like I think he should be rostered in 12 team leagues.
I do too.
He probably is borderline your worst player depending on like draft and everything,
Probably.
right? Because he went really late with the injury. So obviously, if your team is stacked and you hit on some late guys, maybe Fultz is your worst player and you should drop him for whatever, good waiver wire pickup or whatever. But I like Fultz.
Yeah, I think in general, 12-team league, Fultz is going to be rostered most of them, or should be. I like him
Yeah.
to get back to kind of what he did last year, as far as stats go, but I think he might get even more minutes this year with the amount of injuries that the Magic currently have at the guard position. So,
Mm.
I think he'll be solid. What was I gonna say? Gosh dang it. Yeah, whatever. Move on. I'll talk about it if I think about it.
Yeah, all good. I traded Ant and Ja for Trae, Draymond, and Jaren Allen. Is that good? Like 90% sure it's good. Okay, so you get the 3. So I think Trae, Ja is pretty close. I'd probably give.
Ant and
Is
Ja
this
for
is
Trae,
this
Draymond,
points
Jaren.
points or category?
Is his points or what? Oh, you're asking him.
Yeah, I'm asking. Yeah, let us know if it's points or cat.
Trae, Draymond, and Jarrett Allen.
Give us. Let's we'll go back to this one when we know if it's points or cat. Just because I don't want to like spiel. I feel like we're spielers. We just kind of sometimes we just go for too long. I love hearing myself talk, you guys. So.
I wish Underdog was allowed in Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff. Ja, because Shai will set out some point this season. Yeah, so I think if you have to like predict, like if I had to give like a percentage rating, like I think Shai he's more likely to miss some time. I mean it's tough to my bad head points. No, you're good. Yeah, points league. I should have asked. Is it like a how many teams? Is it like a 12 team?
Teams. I like it a little bit better in points league. It's tough. Yeah, I'm hoping that you're really capitalizing on the depth here because I think you're losing. You could argue you're losing the best 2 players in that pool of 5. Trae's probably better than Ant though.
Yeah, I'd probably give Trae. I'd give Trae the nod. It'd go Ja, Trae, Ant.
Yeah, Ja, Trae, Ant.
I think
it's close. I mean,
I think I would take the Ja and Ant side unless it's a like deep league. 14 team.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I think those like 14 to 16 teams that are like really really deep, the like getting the quote unquote like best player in the deal matters a little bit less.
I lead the team in points scored. You lead your own team. You should lead.
You're a leader.
Yeah, you're the commander of that team.
That's sick.
Good content, y'all. Thanks, one take.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Is Brown a sell high in ESPN points league? If so, any suggestions on who I should try to get? Jalen Brown, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I think he might be actually.
He's like so these like sell high, like the concept of a sell high. I think in overall is like, do we think he'll do what he's done? Right. Like, do you think like he'll be able to continue that?
Right.
That's especially in NBA, right? Because this is, such a long game. We're only like 15 games in for these teams, or yeah, like 15, 20.
25, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
I think he is averaging well higher than what he will end the
Yeah, not by like
season.
a ton, but I think he'll level out to like instead of averaging 26, 7, and 3, he'll probably be like 25, 6.5, and 3.5
I
or
mean,
something, Like I don't think it'll be
I
that
like.
much worse. All right, let me
I'm
give
gonna
you
go
some
on
names.
record.
Let's do
Hold on, I'm
this.
gonna go on record say I like to sell high. He's shooting over 50% on the season. That's
Yeah.
unbelievable. In this past stretch, he's shooting well over 50% in
Yeah,
this past
he's
month.
shooting like his average from 3 though. But I agree. I think that's
I mean, he is on fire, and I would I yeah I think it's sell high. I would shop it.
I tried to I was deleting this like best adult dating site, almost made them a moderator. So
That would have been awesome.
that would have been tough.
Um,
All right. Should I actually do you want to do a name game with Jaylen Brown in a points league?
yeah,
All right, name game. Jaylen, I'm just gonna name some names that are around him that I think would be like interesting to hear your perspective on. All right, Jaylen Brown or Sabonis?
Sabonis.
Okay. Jaylen Brown or De'Aaron Fox? Same team.
Brown.
Jaylen Brown or DeJounte Murray? Obviously, the injury is kind of a weird thing. Assume the injury's fine and he's back.
Jonathan Murray.
Okay. I feel like we got a decent picture because I think some of the other guys I would name you definitely wouldn't take.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox is a tough one though. I just think like he is. There's it would be crazy if he averages over 50% from the field without his volume
Yeah,
at the end of the season.
he's just that dude, man.
He's nice. One of my favorite players in the league, honestly.
I do
I
love
love him.
JB. All right. Let's see what we got here.
Just had a jingle ad up
Would
in my corner.
should I be trying to shop Trae? Shooting splits are terrible. Yeah, it's so tough, right? Because the NBA, right? We talk about like you compare how players are shooting to how they like historically have shot, right? So it's like really tough. You look at him, he's shooting 29.6% from 3 just last season. I mean, it was a career high, but just last season he was 38%. His like career low up until that point was at least 32 in 2018. Then he's been like a 36, 34, 38. So like you just expect him to shoot more, and like yeah, the shooting splits are awful, but I mean he's still averaging 27 points.
Right. I like him still. If you want to shop him, see what he's
Well, I
worth.
mean look at this. Would you trade Trae for Harden? Harden coming back, in a points league. I think they're pretty close. I give the nod to Harden though, fully healthy if he's back.
In a points league? Yeah.
He's beating him per game right now. I mean, obviously coming back from the injury, so that's kind of like an annoying kind of factor.
Yeah, he just got better rebounding. Like assists are pretty competitive, kind of like crazy, but assists are close.
It's
Harden wins rebounds,
the
Harden wins
rebounding.
blocks, Harden wins. Well, does he win free throws? It's close. Free throws is close.
Yeah, if you're looking at
Right
count.
now,
I will say,
yeah.
let us know, guys, if you're in any of these kind of like weird, because what made me think when you talked about his shooting splits, I know some of you guys are in leagues where you get negative points for like missed field goals. So I want to take that into account for some of you guys. We typically assume the points leagues that I play in don't factor that in. It's just, the standard kind of points, rebounds, assists. There's like no special kind of like free. You're in one of those. Yeah, I had a feeling that was the part of the question because the points made of like he's still scoring a lot. He's got strong peripherals, at least for the department.
If you're in one of those, then I actually would try to shop him.
And I mean for Harden too. I mean, I love that in that league. Harden, who just like, I mean, his biggest thing, the big difference between those two guys is Harden isn't going to be like a crazy volume guy night in and night out.
Right.
And a lot of times Harden has like decent scoring games without even shooting a ton because he just gets to the line, and he's still going to give you like strong peripheral. So I love that in that league. Yes. Give me Harden over Trae for sure.
Yeah. I forget about that too, because people have come in here asking and like talking about Trae. We've had people bring up Trae several times and I'm like he's doing well. Like, yeah, it's going to be up and down. He's inconsistent, but like he will give you on a weekly basis, this set amount of fantasy points.
Are you a fan? Are you a fan of that? Do you think like those kind of leagues that take that into account from a fantasy perspective?
Yeah, I don't hate it. Like it's a good way to balance usage, right?
Would you rather have that though than like would you rather play in a points league that has that or doesn't have that? I don't like it, but maybe I'm just a loser hater.
I probably wouldn't, but I don't. I understand. It just becomes very big heavy then.
Yeah, I
Like,
just think it's one of those things
yeah,
where like I get it because I get the concept of like you want to reward efficient shooting, but I think it just ends up making I just think it's one of those things where it's like you just get so screwed by like cold streaks and like guys who have like really inefficient nights and that can just like screw you for a week or a matchup or something. You're like, oh great, Trae shot 15% from three this week. Like, guess I lost. I don't like that.
yeah,
Because you're already hurt if they shoot not well. You're already hurt by them not scoring, right? Like that's kind of where my brain goes. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm just a loser. Maybe I just play category league. I think that's the answer, right?
yeah, yeah.
All right. Do we want to get into the game recaps? Does that sound good?
Yeah. I think
We
we
can
covered everything in the chat so far.
and we'll keep the questions coming in too because we can. I mean, we'll keep answering these and talking through these. We just kind of go through these recaps just to kind of.
Just so that Will and I don't end up talking about the Pistons all night.
Which we will. They did play tonight, so I'm down. My friend made shooting splits and trying to kill me every week. Yeah, it's just.
And too.
Yeah,
You got
I'm
some
not a big
guys that
fan.
can just go 5 for 25. So
And I get it. Like, it's something to take into account, right? Like, I get it. There's like fun strategy with it, but like, hey, if you want the extra strategy, just play in a category league. More fun.
Yeah.
All right, All right, so we're gonna get this up here. What game you want to look at first? Let's go to the Pistons. Let's go to the Pistons game.
get them out of the way.
Get him out of the way. Good call. Killian, man, 17, 12, and 6. Didn't shoot great from three, but man, what a solid line. 2 steals too. Only 2 turnovers with 12 assists.
Yep.
He's just hashtag good.
Yeah, it was a hashtag good matchup too.
Yeah.
Pelicans guards are not great. Dyson Daniel starting is typically a solid defender though, or should be a solid defender. But it's just I think it's just a matter of like no one could really guard Zion on our team. So
yeah,
no Cade. What can you do?
Right, dude. There's moments too, and actually we can put this up. Man, there's just Zion does this to a lot of people. He did it to Isaiah Stewart a couple times tonight, where he just bodies you, man, and he is just like, I am just bigger. And the Pistons are like the perfect team for you to do that too.
Yeah, we either have like
Bagley.
size but not height, or height but not size,
right?
And not both. So like you got Stewart, who's a beefy guy, beef stew, but he's undersized. You've got Duran, who's a little longer, but he's kind of skinnier and very raw.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bagley can just be an absolute liability on defense. Which I mean, we could talk about Bagley. He's been dropping off heavy, but there's just no one really can guard Zion, especially when you have Valanciunas next to him as well. Like it's just a matchup nightmare for the Pistons. So the fact that we hung in here and lost by 6 is kind of surprising.
Yeah, shout out to my friend Kev. I got to see him tonight, and he first thing he told me, he said, I got a bet on this game, and I was like, he's a Pistons fan, he's probably not doing well. And it was at halftime. They had scored like 43 points or something. And he's like, it's the Pistons money line. I was like, okay. It kind of brought it back a little bit though. So at least it was probably a fun watch for him. But yeah, it's tough. Anything else on the Pels? I got the Pels pulled up right here. Obviously Zion, monster game. Obviously, Trey Murphy continues to be just a stud in a lot of these games where you're missing some combination of Zion or CJ or BI. He's actually kind of like he's a really interesting asset because I think he is one of those guys who gets positive impact regardless of which one of those guys is out, because he will see solid minutes with those guys out, So
yeah,
like him. Yo, what's up? Ray Gun. Thoughts on Jeremy Grant? Are you asking us as Pistons fans? I assume you're asking from a fantasy perspective, so I'll give you the fantasy perspective answer. Dude, he has been, at least in this last stretch, he's been a lot better than I anticipated he would be.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
I mean, all season pretty much. He's been a lot better than I thought he would. He just shot a lot more than I thought he would. I mean, he's shooting it.
right. That was the thing with the Pistons, right? It was like Jeremy Grant shoots a ton. Yeah, because he's on the Pistons, right? Like he's gonna be the scorer, but like you put him with Dame and Simons, and I mean, a lot of those other guys who I think are really talented on that team too. But he's been shooting a ton. I think he's gonna do what he's done. You know, maybe it won't be 23 points per game for the whole season. But I mean, I think you can just he's just gonna be what he is, right? Grant's gonna give you on any given night 18 to 25 points. Maybe not that range exactly, but something like that. And then just like not great peripherals because he's just not a great rebounder, or an assist guy because he likes putting the ball in the bucket himself.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts?
No, I think I agree. I think the points have come down. I mean, the usage is nice. He obviously he's shooting a lot, but I think the efficiency is a little on the high side. I don't know if that's going to be sustainable all year.
Yeah.
Peripherals are not
I
going to
mean,
be
he's
great.
shooting insane from three, and he's actually shooting a pretty high volume too, which is in some of these games, which he didn't do a ton with the Pistons, but shooting like 46% from three, I think. It's like really, really efficient. Yeah. So you expect that to die down. I think that's kind of my nod to the 23 points per game might end up being like a 21 come the end of the season, or maybe even 18, 19 that he had with some of those Pistons seasons.
Yeah, I think I like him to be around 20, and then peripherals aren't usually that great. So
yeah,
he's kind of a sell high candidate for me, but at the same time, I'm kind of like writing it out because you probably didn't like he's probably outperforming his value, his ADP. So there's really no harm in just keeping him.
Yo, what's up, Wick Jean? Big hit losing DeJounte Murray, DJM. Who is going to step up in his place? Yeah, I think so. I don't know the length of the injury. I don't know if you've seen any reports. Let us know if you've seen something. I know he didn't return to the game. Obviously, the ankle sprain could be, short term. Could be a longer thing. We'll kind of see in the up and coming reports. But yeah, I think you got Bogdanovich back, right? You've got Aaron Holiday who's played some too. The Hawks are pretty interesting from a streaming perspective, just with the current injuries in the short term, right?
Yep.
Like this team with Collins, with if Murray's out for a significant amount of time, with DeAndre Hunter too. I mean, AJ Griffin is a guy who I think is really interesting. Especially given what he's done in some of these games, right?
Yeah, I think it's Bogdanovich. I think he is the clear ad if he's not already taken though. If he is, I think Aaron Holiday's worth a look for sure. But Bogdanovich is going to be way more involved offensively. He's going to shoot a lot more.
And I do want to say, like, if you just box score look at Bogdanovich, I mean, abysmal shooting night tonight. I think he's 0 for 10 from 3 tonight, 3 for 16. But like, just don't look at the score, look at the volume.
Yeah, and I mean we've seen Bogdanovich on this team thrive off the bench, thrive in a starting role. So like there's a lot of familiarity there with him. So Bogdanovich is probably the same.
I do like Griffin. I do like Griffin though. I think Griffin.
Yeah, I like Griffin too. I think he gets a little less impacted from this. I mean, I think the Murray usage is probably going to go a big chunk. It's just going to kind of look like what we probably saw last year.
Yeah, it'll probably just look like Trae. Trae last season.
Year, yeah. So, Bogdanovich definitely grab if he's not already. Aaron Holiday and AJ Griffin, I think, are next up, worth the look. But again, we don't know how long Murray's out. I didn't see the injury actually. I didn't watch that game tonight.
So no, and the only reports I know were just like not returning to the game is all I saw. I didn't see any kind of like he's going to like get some opinions or anything. So we'll see. What's up, Mr. Treasure? Zion is going on a crazy dude. Zion, dude, he's just one of those guys where you just like he's I don't even know. He's just something, man. He's a massive dude. Rebounding numbers have been decent. He's had some better assist games than I expected from him with good scoring, which has been really nice. I think that's something that not a lot of people expect from Zion. Not that they've been like insane, but like if he can give you like the scoring and like 8 and 4, 9 and 5, 9 and 6 in some of these games, like that's incredible.
Yeah, and defensively he's been insane as well.
Yo, what's up, Raygun? My bad. I see this question. I know you asked it earlier. My bad. I totally forgot to talk about this. Kawhi, man. Do you think Kawhi will get anywhere close to paying off as my 3rd round pick? In short, I'm going to say no. I mean, obviously, to this point, your answer is no, right? Super disappointing. Injury management to start the season. Disappointing games. Pretty inefficient night to night. We can actually go over to that game. I think we talked about some of these Pels a decent amount. But yeah, we'll go to the Clipper side here. But yeah, really poor shooting night. I think the thing that excites me about Kawhi the most is the minutes. And I know this game went to OT and played 30, but he played 28 in the game before this. So I really was looking for Kawhi to have I need to see a stretch of games where he plays 28 plus minutes. Like, I just need to see that to like feel excited about Kawhi. And we're getting to see that a little bit. Obviously, it's not a question. You're going to deal with injury management, rest. And that's not even considering some kind of like re-aggravation or any kind of, other injury. It's just going to be a thing this season. But I guess I'll kind of pose a question to you, Kanan. Do you think, like, give me a percentage level. Let's say Kawhi plays, let's just say you're not even talking about the injury management. You don't even think about that. What percentage, just production, like what percentage of Kawhi, old Kawhi, do you think we'll get? Like, are you expecting per game he's going to be 70% of like what we saw from Kawhi last time he was healthy?
Statistically?
Statistically, fantasy production, they go hand in hand a little bit, but just from a fantasy perspective, he's talking about it's his 3rd round pick.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to live up to the 3rd round pick. I'll give 75.
Okay. Let's play I'm not trying to like pour salt in the wound or anything, but you want to play a quick game of who's better fantasy points per game? Kawhi or? Are you ready? Kawhi or?
You just want to tell them that I have Kawhi on one of my teams too? Is that what you want to do?
Okay. All right. Kawhi or Alec Burks?
Don't insult me.
It's Burks. Kawhi or Mo Wagner?
What are we doing here?
It's Mo Wagner. Kawhi or Bones?
Mo Wagner, go blue.
It's Bones.
Kawhi.
All right, Kawhi or Kevon Looney?
Okay.
That one's Kawhi. That one's Kawhi. All right, Kawhi edge that one out. I know. And this practice, obviously, I'm not saying that Kawhi's not going to be able to like beat those guys. I do want to put in perspective how bad it's been per game. Like, it's not just, it's the minutes too, right? Like, obviously, first return back from injury, you're going to have some inefficient shooting nights. But I just want to put it in perspective, like, he's not been great in those games. But still, I think it will. I don't think Kawhi's like a scrub or anything. I think like Kawhi, like you said, 75%. I think that's fair. I think like per game.
I want to go 85. I'm gonna go 85.
Oh,
I have faith in Kawhi.
I thought you were gonna go down. Okay, yeah, I'll stick with like a 70, 75. And we're talking about percentage of production from like what you expected from Kawhi when you drafted him.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're already at 30 minutes.
We're already at 30% of production.
We're already at 30 minutes at this point of the season. You have the All-Star break coming up in 2 months. I mean, if he's hitting 30 minutes heading into the All-Star break, they're still hanging in there.
That's the question.
500 for a playoff push. We could just kind of see. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw him like what he did at the near end of last season, where he's back to mid-20s, good peripherals, defense. Like
if Kawhi is like, if we hit All-Star break, and I'm just talking per game, I'm not even talking about injury management. If we hit All-Star break and Kawhi's playing like he's averaging 29, 30 minutes a game, that Kawhi I think is a top 70 player for sure.
Yeah.
So that's where I would kind of put that out there. Do you guys think Tatum is a top 5 fantasy player right now in points leagues? Man, dude, he's been something. Right now he is 7th in fantasy points per game. So I'll kind of read down the list, and I think there's some interesting names that are above him, right? So Luka, you would take. Giannis, you would take. Embiid, I assume you would take.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, second in fantasy points per game right now, points leagues.
Man, it's an absolute unit right now.
I know it's got to be Tatum though. You can't like these.
Yeah.
I think with AD, my thing is, if you have to think about, it's the other guy with how good AD's been. So if you're like, just take the other guy. But I do think AD deserves the respect of like a top, first, second round pick.
And we were talking about like your best player, right? Yes, AD probably has been better fantasy points per game wise. But if your best player on your team is a guy that can just be out for months or hurt, and then that just it's like you lose. What they say, you can't win your league in your first round of your draft, but you can lose it, and that's kind of classic, right?
Oh yeah, so, I hate talking about AD with the injury, but I mean obviously missed the game tonight and already dealing with it. But yeah, okay, so we got 3.
Maybe we just keep talking about it, keep jinxing it, and let him do his thing.
All right, so we've got 3. We got Lucas, Giannis, Embiid. All right, are you still Jokic ahead of Tatum? They're pretty close right now in fantasy points per game, just with how amazing Tatum's been scoring and rebounding.
Yeah, I'll take Jokic.
All right, what about Shai? He's been better than him right now. I mean, obviously the scoring's been insane. The assist numbers, the defensive stats have been great too.
Yeah, I'll take Shai.
I think I go Tatum. I love Shai. I think it's close. I think I go Tatum though. I think maybe I think people would point to like Shai's injury risk as like the deciding factor. I still think I would go Tatum just from a safety perspective. I think
the defensive stats and the assists, like you're getting, the cream of the crop as far as what produces fantasy points. You're getting at max value with Shai. You're getting 6 to 10 assists and like 2 to 5 defensive stats.
What do you think Shai averages? What do you think Shai's per game points are at the end of the season? Right now he's shooting 50% from the floor, 32% from 3. He's averaging 31.3 points per game.
Probably like 27.
Okay.
I'd say.
Okay.
27, 28.
Yeah. I just think if that's the case, and I agree, I think it'll probably come out to be something like that per game. I think if that's the case, at the end of the season, Tatum will have beat him in fantasy points per game. And is slightly safer.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's a conversation though. I'm not even. So,
yeah.
So I think Tatum's right at so I guess let's do like 2 more because I think there's 2 that are interesting. KD, what KD's doing right now for Brooklyn? They're neck and neck in fantasy points per game. Similar scoring.
I'll take Tatum. I'm passing the torch.
Yeah, I would take Tatum too. Slightly. I think it's really close.
Honestly, KD in the playoffs last season, really put a bad taste in my mouth about KD. Honestly,
you called him Bud. You called him discount Brandon Ingram in the playoffs. Yeah.
Dude, I was pissed at him, dude. Brandon Ingram was KD in the playoffs.
He actually was. Yeah, that's
KD
true.
was Brandon Ingram. It was crazy, and it's just you just can't get away with that if you're a guy, especially as vocal and active on social media as KD is, to self-proclaim yourself as a god and as such a beast. And he is like an incredible basketball player. Obviously, he's one of the greatest scorers you've ever seen. But you cannot just disappear in the playoffs and think that you're just this stud still. Sorry, I'm passing the torch to Tatum.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, we can keep it moving here. I thought that was a good example. So I think we had him pretty close. I think you probably had Tatum just out of top 5. I think maybe you had him at 6th if you we talked about Shai and some of those other guys. I think I had him at 5, so I think we both agree he's right there as a top 5 guy in points leagues for sure. Safe to say Bol Bol's production is maintainable all season. Dude, Bol Bol, man, I'm gonna say I'm gonna call ourselves out. I mean, we were wrong on Bol Bol. I think the whole fantasy community was wrong about Bol Bol, just from the perspective of I'm sorry, please just look at Bol Bol's season stats for all teams he's been on in his career, right? No team has just ever given him the reins to being a solid rotational player, let alone a guy who's going to play 24 to 28 minutes a night,
Yeah.
And if he does that, he's just going to average almost 2 blocks per game and have these random big scoring games.
I don't know I think the consistency is gone.
Yes, the maintainable, I think, is kind of like a tongue-in-cheek. But I think he's gonna, like, I have not seen a reason to believe he's not gonna average like 25, 26 minutes for this team.
Oh my god, they're gonna say points. What is wrong with you? No, yeah. Ever since Fultz came back, November 30th, 5 games ago, we saw like a 10-minute hit to Bol Bol. Moving forward until this last overtime game, obviously, but still probably would be a hit without overtime. But with Fultz coming back, that big of a hit to Bol Bol already. Plus, you got other guys for the Magic that are going to be coming back.
Yeah, they I think people do. I do agree. I think that's a good shout out. Like, it wasn't just Fultz. Magic have dealt with. I mean, right now, like no Wendell Carter. Right, you talked about Carter's dealing with injury right now. Fultz, obviously, at the start of the season for a long portion of time. Cole Anthony was out for some games. Suggs missed some games too. Banchero missed some games too in there. So I think Bol Bol. Even with all that, though, I do still think they're comfortable playing him 24 minutes a night. So I still think he has a solid rotational role. But
I agree. I think it's a solid rotational role, but I think Wick John just said, got Bol Bol in 4 leagues. I would try to sell him, especially because he had a solid game here in overtime against the Clippers. There's a lot of people that are on the Bol Bol train. I think his minutes can only get worse with all these guys coming back. I think, again, he will have a role, and he will have these games like this 20-9. But it's not going to be that stretch that we saw in mid-November. He's going to have some just dud games, and it's just not going to be as, constant of a
I think constant was the right. What you had used it as like the describing word, but it was as constant.
Constant of like Linsanity, like this, this.
What would you call it? What's Bol Bol's little Linsanity?
Basketball. Basketball. I would try to sell him, but I'll say I was wrong. He is way more impactful than I thought he would be this team. But the minutes are going to go down.
Yeah.
If you want to keep him, he will still be good, but it's not going to be consistent. And we try to sell him. A lot of people like him a lot.
Yeah. Yo, what's up, Wick Jean again? Do you guys think Jarrett Culver soaks up DeJounte's minutes? Is he worth streaming? I don't really think so. I mean, what happened tonight? I mean, Murray played like Murray was out like almost immediately in this game, right? And what Culver only played like.
Also,
he didn't play
a lot. And AJ Griffin is what Culver should have been for the who did he get drafted by the Timberwolves, I think. Yeah,
and he's seen some increased run with just how many injuries the Hawks have. So I don't know. I'm not saying that like no way in hell am I playing this guy. I think in deeper leagues he's probably worth the stream, depending on who's available on waivers. But I am very much in the camp of like the soaking up should go to Bogdanovich, AJ Griffin, even with all these injuries.
I am on the there's no way
I'm on the no way in a 16-team league. You're not playing Culver.
I mean, I think
it was just a couple, just like
I would go both 2 games ago. Brothers.
I mean, he played 30. He played 30 plus minutes. End of November, 2 games back to back. All right, now I think like I'm not gonna sit here and fight for Jarrett Culver, so I'm gonna just.
I'm just salty because Jarrett Culver and the Texas Tech Red Raiders knocked out Michigan in March Madness. Was that 6 years ago?
Jeez, this guy.
Yeah,
shaking my head.
I never forget.
How do you find a way to talk about Michigan basketball right now? They're in the college football playoffs, and you're talking about Michigan basketball
because I just duped you. I got you. I pulled a gotcha on you. I got Michigan football. Let's go blue. We're gonna punish and bully ball TCU and go to the final. I pray to God that Georgia wins because I would not be able to withstand. Ohio State.
He doesn't want the smoke. Classic
Michigan
I just fan dodging Ohio State. Wow. He doesn't want it. He knows
First of all, they're not going to beat
blowout.
Well, they're not going to beat Georgia. Second of all,
if you guys didn't have those 4 touchdowns, that game would have been Ohio State's.
I mean, if we played them, we would win by 20 again. I just don't want to go through the stress of like the unknown and like, when the clock is
fun.
When the scoreboard is 0-0 to start the game, I'm stressed. Once Donovan Edwards rips off 370-yard touchdown runs, then I'll be like, okay. we'll be back to normal. But like, I don't want that initial stress. You know, I'd rather take down like an actual good program like Georgia.
Okay, I'm not gonna push you longer on that. Yo, what's up, Judge? Sup, boys? Thank you for the correct on that. Would you trade Mobley and Mathurin for Ant in a points league?
Yeah.
You don't even want to know. I think it's the kind of question I would ask how many teams.
Yeah, I mean it does matter a little bit, but
Yeah, I think in most leagues I'm taking Ant, but
Ant's been pretty insane, specifically on defense lately without Cat. I mean, with no Cat, he's been soaking up a lot of usage.
12 teams. Yeah, I do that. I think like the 2-for-1s for me really start to matter in those deep leagues where like you to like play the max games, you're having to play like Jarrett Culver. You know. Yeah. No, I would do that. I like those guys though, man. I don't think it's like a steal. Like I think it's a decent trade for both sides, but I like the Ant side. I'm starting to think RJ. Oh man, RJ. Every stream we find somebody to talk about how disappointed they are in RJ. And I'm not saying you're wrong. Dude, can you imagine RJ Barrett in one of those? I don't play in any of these leagues, but I'm going to pour one out for people that have RJ Barrett in a league where you get negative points for missed field goals.
That's on them, dude. That's
on them. Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
I don't feel bad for you guys. No, that's tough. Dude, I don't know. Is it like worth holding regardless of usage? I can't get with that, but I get it.
I don't think you should drop Barrett unless you're in like an 8 team. Like he's gonna give you like a lot of
like a bad game tonight is 15-7. Like it's hard to find guys that'll give you 15-7.
Yeah,
on most waivers, sure. You know.
Yeah, I don't think you should get rid of him. I think he's very annoying and frustrating, but like you took him. All right, that's on you. But he's gonna get you. He's gonna get you.
How about Julius Randle tonight though?
Oh,
34 and 17, 6 for 12 from 3. Hit all the free throws too. Okay.
Yeah, a little lefty magic.
Let's go. Do you guys think it's too late to buy low on Vooch after his big game tonight?
Probably. I mean, we've been after Vooch. Yeah, we've been liking Vooch this year.
He had a good game too. The other night too, didn't he? Against
Warriors.
Yeah,
that was a good matchup as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so tough to buy these guys when they have.
Yeah.
They're like the high floor, right? Like 25, 11, and 3 is like the high side of like Vooch production. Maybe not. I mean, rebounds that's pretty solid and assists too, but especially with 4 defensive stats too. Like that's tough to. I think so.
Yeah. Awesome, Noah. Thanks for the insight. You are welcome, Wick. Judge 12 teams. Okay. Yeah, we got that. 12 teams for that trade.
Ooh, traded Booker for Ja and a 4th. 9-cat keeper.
Wait, what?
Wait, the 4th is on the wrong side.
You got Ja and a 4th.
I mean, Book's been amazing. Don't get me wrong, but a cat league too with what Ja's been doing.
Yeah, what? That's a steal. You fleeced him.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Barnes? Yeah, I mean Barnes is stud. I think he had a really high rebounding game tonight, right?
Yeah, dude, we can talk about. I think this game is a pretty interesting one too. Well, I'll pull up this game. I know a lot of people are talking to us about like the buy low on Fred VanVleet. Has a 25, 4 and 7 game. It didn't even shoot that great from 3 either. I mean, not bad or anything, but 3 for 12.
Yeah, we're just talking about all these guys that just are gonna kill you in that missed field goals.
Oh my dude, he's had like 0 for 11 games.
Oh yeah. Yeah, VanVleet, Trae, RJ, like these are all pretty inconsistent shooters.
I will say real quick on Scotty. I do want to touch on Scotty a little bit. I'm happy that we've gotten to see some like consistent minutes from some of these Toronto guys where we had a weird stretch, right? Where we had some weird minute games for like Scotty and Gary Trent too. So I do like seeing those guys in kind of that 30-point range. Dude, OG, man.
I love Scotty Barnes. I think he's
I love this Toronto team.
Oh my god, yeah.
Siakam for VanVleet. OG Scotty, dude,
OG
like how can you
Scotty.
not love this
I would
team?
love to. Yeah, I'd love to be a Raptors. This seems awesome. Yeah, Barnes is going to be a stud. He can do it all. We've seen it all year. Like great rebounder. He can pass when it's called upon. Points. I mean, it's just like kind of just lived up to what his draft profile
Yeah,
was.
he's had a
So
pretty disappointing. Like I think a lot of people were expecting a bigger breakout for Scotty, like heading into the second
yeah,
season, right? Because I know that's kind of the big thing, like what you expected with Cade and Evan Mobley and like
but
the
to me,
no, go ahead.
sorry, I get that, but to me, I would expect
You weren't
less of a breakout.
expecting that. Is that what
No,
you're saying?
because I expect him to maybe have a bit more minutes. Maybe not even that. Like he played him a lot last year.
Yeah.
I expect it out of Cade and Mobley because these guys are create your own shot guys. They're offensive guys. Barnes is a do it all. He's a glue guy. He can score, but he's a long switchable defender. He can give you defensive stats. He can pass when needed to. He just kind of fills in the roles that need like when he needs to. He can do it all. He's not the kind of guy that's like, Scotty, go get us a shot. Okay, I'm gonna go 1-on-1 with this guy. Like that's to me
Right,
those
and they
kind of
have
players
they
are
have
like
so many guys that are already going to do that, right? You talk about
right.
Siakam, Fred, yeah,
So it's
Gary at
like to
times
me,
too.
like the Kate Cunninghams are the guys that are like you are called upon to put this team on your
Yeah,
back and just be a juggernaut for us. And like Kate can do that. Mobley has a more extensive offensive bag to me than Scotty. That he can do that as well. Scotty's so good because he just does all the little things. And so it's like he can score, but he's not going to be like, hey, you and me, 1-on-1, top of the key. Let's see what happens. Like no, I mean. So it's like, what's a breakout for a guy like that? Just more time and better defensive stats, and maybe shoots a little bit more, which he has been. So it's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I think we. Sorry, I think. Actually, no, we didn't miss it. Ivy or Rozier? Yeah, I mean, I love Jaden Ivy, but don't be fooled by Ivy's hot start. It's Terry.
Oh yeah, definitely Terry Rozier.
Yeah, like I think
Uh,
I get it. Like you look at what Ivy did in some of those games, and you think about no Cade, and it's his team, and he's going to be able to take what he did at the beginning of the season and build upon it and be even better. But I don't have super high expectations from a fantasy perspective of Ivy being like better
Chet
than
knows
what he
stuff,
did
too.
in his hot stretch. Like I don't really see that. I
Yeah,
love him
Chet's
though.
like, there's
Yeah,
like very little like inner conversation in the chat until that gets brought up, and everyone's like, dude, Rozier.
yeah, for sure. All right, we got a 10-team league. Yo, what's up, Manveer? Should I trade Middleton and Monk for Dinwiddie, Sexton, and PJ?
Mm,
It's a 10. I get so I know your face is like a 10 team. So you're like, oh, I don't really I want to get the best player in the deal because it's 10-team league, it's not as deep as like a 12, 14, 16. But I think I actually don't think it's that bad.
yeah, I mean, I think you're probably getting.
I mean, Middleton should be the best player in the deal pretty comfortably just from a consistency standpoint. Um
Yeah, I would do. I would. I would keep Middleton and Monk. I think you
okay.
can. This way, you're keeping the best player in the trade, and I would argue that in a 10-man league or 10-team league, you can find players that can produce like Dinwiddie is now. It's
That's
hard to
probably
play back.
true. Yeah, and
And
I think even if it's
it's the
like
other way for it.
80% of that, right? Like 80% you could find on waivers of what like some of those guys will do consistently. Because I know Sexton has had some pretty big games.
Because like you're gonna have to drop someone, and it's gonna be like in my eyes, you're gonna have to drop one of those three that you probably trade for anyway. Yeah, 10-man. It's
Yeah,
like the
it's kind
dropping
of.
player is probably Dinwiddie, or
And here's what I'll
so
say.
there's 2 for 2,
I think
and
that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up because I think for a lot of people, you tend to look at trades solely from the perspective of like this player versus this player. But I think in like a 10-man league, I think you brought up a great point. It actually is very nice to have the flexibility of using waivers in these shallow leagues because 10-man waivers, there's like legit players that I think should be rostered in all
yeah,
leagues available on waivers in 10-team leagues.
yeah.
We have people asking us if they should, pick up John Wall or, pick up, Jabari Smith because somebody dropped him when he was having like a cold stretch. So like legit starters playing good minutes are available on waivers in 10-tam leagues. 10-tam. So yeah, I'd keep Middleton. Good call.
Yeah.
Someone dropped off waivers on my 10-man. I played the previous owner this week. Wait.
Oh, Terry Rozier. Someone dropped Terry Rozier in the 10-man. I
Oh,
think that's
what
what he's
the?
saying.
What?
I'd rather keep Middleton. Yeah. What about
It's
Dame for
crazy.
Kyrie swap? I don't know if I should keep Dame. I would keep Dame. Well, it's actually tighter than you think.
I know, dude. You're a kind of. I'm not gonna call you a Kyrie hater, but
I'm not. I love Kyrie.
I know you love Kyrie, but I feel like from we had that kind of like stretch conversation where we weren't sure if Kyrie was playing basketball this season. I think
I
that's
would
what
go
I'm
Dame.
thinking about.
I would go Dame.
Tough. Dame injury prone. Yeah, Kyrie prone.
Kyrie is.
Kyrie himself prone.
Yeah.
I love Kyrie
It's
though. I don't
Kyrie
want people to
listed
think I'm
as
a Kyrie
question.
hater. I like Kyrie.
Kyrie listed as
I've
questionable
got
in parentheses. Some Kyrie shit.
oh, I don't have him in the room. I've got some
I love,
Kyrie.
dude.
I got
I
some
love
Kyrie
Kyrie.
fly traps.
Oh, the amount of times I've watched just that 2016 jumper in the finals for the Cavs over and over.
Mm-hmm.
He's absolutely talented at basketball. One of the best handlers I've ever seen play in this game. But I would go Dame. I like Dame's production quite a bit more when he's on the court, and I think both their chances to miss time is pretty even, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ivy or Jabari? I still go Ivy, even though he's kind of had a tougher recent thing.
Yeah.
Because we went over this, right? I really
Right.
do think it's a matter of, this crazy change of rotation and, people being injured and different players sharing the court with him. He has to, carry the load, and Killian's kind of stepped up more in that way too. But I think, both injuries to himself and other players around him, but Bay coming off the bench, Stewart coming back, Bagley, there's just so much changing that I think it's going to take a little bit more time for him to get adjusted to kind of what we saw right out the gate.
Yeah, and he's in a pretty good. Like I actually do like some of the Pistons guards. Like obviously, I my expectation, and I hate putting this out into the universe, but I really don't think we see Cade play this season.
I don't think we do either.
It just makes no sense to rush him back. Yeah, if they take the surgery route, he's he's done already for the rest of the season. And if they don't, and they're gonna let it rest, why? Like why rush him back? Why?
So close to buying courtside tickets to Pistons this year too. So glad I didn't pull the trigger.
Dude,
That would be infuriating.
shout out to Kev. He went to my friend Kev. He went to the Pistons Mavs game, and I thought of you. He told me this story, and he had a Luka jersey.
I have
And
that like would be me, but I wouldn't do that
to the Pistons. No, I don't think he even wore it. I think he brought it to get it signed.
Yeah,
and
that's what I would do.
He gave it to a lady, and there were so many people. Like he had to give it to somebody who was at the front and ask them to get it signed. And she got like her kids' stuff signed. She got something signed. She took a picture with him and then didn't get his jersey signed. She forgot about it.
Lame. I would like wear the jersey
Crazy.
and then get it signed from Luca and then take it off and have a K jersey under it and stuff in my pocket.
Yeah. Classic. All right. Here we go. Shai or Trae? Trae or Shai rest of season 9 Cats.
That's actually
my heart.
I think
heart
most people are
Shai.
saying like, dude, why is it taking so long? It's definitely Shai. Well, to me, it's like Shai with the injuries. I don't know how long you can sit here and just sit on a high horse and say, well, he's injury prone, because he's just been so good and played a good amount of games this season. So yeah. I think I would just go Shai. Injuries happen. If it happens, I'm sorry, but it's Shai.
Yeah, and I think like
because you win field goal percentage, you win
the assists. The assists are the big thing. The threes, but man, the percentage. I mean, Trae's been killing you percentage.
Yeah.
Free throws have been nice, but no.
Yeah, field goal percentage, you win.
I think it's closer than like.
It is
I don't think it's just an injury thing. I do think it's close because I like Trae. And he's still going to give you good scoring games. The assist numbers are still going to be strong. Shai has just been, and the defensive stats too. I mean, Shai's just been doing that, All right. Injuries been messing up my team so bad, man. Kawhi, Dame, Pirtle, Siakam, Fred. Oh, that's tough, man.
God.
And a lot of those guys too, like Siakam. What a great. I mean, Siakam back. Hopefully you're able to kind of like bring it back. What a great pick, though, Siakam.
The infirmary.
Yeah. I feel like from now on this season, Kyrie has to behave. No, yeah. I mean, Okay,
Behave is so funny.
I know.
Have
Here's what
to
I'll
behave.
say. Like I hate like doing this because like I don't think Kyrie is just like a psychopath or something. Like I feel like the way we kind of talk about it makes it seem like we're like Kyrie's dummy, stupid. Like it's just like there's some things that are just like, come on, man. Like it's more come on, man things than like this guy's like
You
needs to
just
get his act together or something. You know, it's just like come
yeah.
on.
Not to like get into it too much or get all this is a fantasy basketball
I
show.
know that's what I was doing,
But
but go ahead.
yeah. But he speaks his mind and as much as he wants to. Like
Hey,
he
and
thinks he
that's
shouldn't have a filter because he's a celebrity. He disagrees that he should have a filter because he's also human, which is a fair point, but it can get you in trouble because you are on a platform. So that's all I'll say.
all right. I like that.
It's a messy situation. I'm 2-5 with the most points in my league. There, I feel you,
yeah,
dude.
that's dumb.
That hurts.
What are your
That's
thoughts
just
on like best ball? Do you think that's like not a fun with your friends kind of thing?
for like a league.
Yeah. I think it
Um,
just like I know a lot of people talk about the grind of fantasy basketball and like having to set your lineups and do waivers and everything. But I think like best ball is like a interesting idea in thought, but I think in practice you would be like, man, this ain't fun. Like
I do like it, but you can get really screwed over by injuries unless you're like still allowed to make.
yeah, it's a little weird, right? The way that best ball works for basketball versus like football, for example. But no, I don't think that's something you guys should switch your leagues to. I don't think it's a good idea. But
Got Kawhi from waivers. Jeez, dude.
dude, yeah, it's
Who has a one like this guy? Whoever dropped him has like a what? He's just 1 month and done. Like, what are you doing, dude? Should I drop Kawhi? No, no, don't drop Kawhi. The next guy is like, should I drop Kawhi? Like, no, no.
on my opponent, but he been chief. I mean, here's the thing, Kawhi. Like my thing is, I don't even really care about the efficiency because I think like he'll come back to earth, just because he's not awful. You know, I think I've seen enough from Kawhi in these games where I'm like, he's not just like washed and terrible. He just isn't shooting great in these games.
He's coming off an injury. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
guys, we waited forever for him to finally get back into playing. When is he going to play? He's playing. He played 30 minutes. We can't sit there and now complain that he's not doing well. It's like he's on the court. Give him a couple weeks. I'm still optimistic about it. I would not drop him. It does kind of stink because it's like he's not IL eligible anymore, but he kind of like plays like he might.
He'll
well
get
be,
yeah,
right?
and he'll get the
It's the awkward
injury
limbo stage right
rest
now.
management. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be awkward for a couple weeks, but I mean, if you held on to him this long, I would keep him still. Someone in my 8-man traded Jimmy Van Vliet and Turner for Curry Durant and Turner.
I mean, if you
Miles
just like
Turner
eliminate the Turner from both of those, Jimmy
Try to
Van
beat
Vliet
it,
for
but it never
Curry
worked.
Durant.
He's throwing. Who's the Turners? What Turner am I missing? Miles and.
What's the thought process?
I'm just trying to think of the other Turner.
Evan Turner.
No, God. Ohio State Buckeye beat Michigan at the buzzer at half court Big Ten championship tournament.
Dang. Imagine if you use this knowledge for like something that could help society.
It works at trivia.
It works at trivia. That's funny. Sorry. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not a big trade veto guy where I'm very much like, hey, if somebody has their thought that this guy's better than this guy, even if like the fantasy community doesn't, but like it's not even like a thought.
This isn't. Yeah,
It's the two best players in the trade on one side.
Yeah,
by a decent margin. Not even like a question. That's crazy.
and you're just swapping Miles Turners.
Yeah, maybe they duplicated. That's
yeah. Do I give up Giddy for CJ and Killian? That's actually kind of.
Killy's kind of doing a Josh Giddey impression right now.
It's kind of crazy that I'm thinking about this. If you told me this beginning of the season, I'd laugh at you. But this is kind of crazy. I'm kind of into it.
10 team head to head.
And Giddy's been a little underwhelming at times. I mean, he's had his moments.
Oh, I would drop Ivy in the process. That change anything for you?
No.
It's 10 team.
10 team, no.
Yeah, he can be your worst player on 10 team.
Sad to see him go. You'll have to watch him leave. But
okay.
I don't know, dude. Coleman's been pretty. I think I would just hold on to Giddy. It's safer. It's pretty risky going for CJ and Killian on that one, right?
Yeah,
10 team, and then you're probably keeping the best player at the end of the day with Giddey, fantasy wise, head to head points. I would see if you can upgrade. No, I don't think it's worth the risk of Killian sustaining this and CJ coming back to being a 24-5 guy. Maybe it is because CJ is going to be good.
I know. I actually kind of like the CJ Hayes side.
I did too initially, and I'm talking myself out of it.
I mean, if you like, so is your hold up like Killian isn't what he's been this past week? Is that your thing? And you just like Giddey to be better than what he's been?
My holdup is it'd be really annoying if Killian dropped off. CJ probably will return to what he does, but then my other holdup is
I think you just do.
You're taking on a Killian at a 10 team. You know what I mean?
Yes, I get that, but I think here's my thing is like if somebody told me they traded Giddey for CJ in a 10 team, I would be like, okay, I like Giddey more, but I wouldn't be like, you idiot, you know? That's kind of where my brain's at. Where I don't even think that that's that bad. So like getting the Killian on top, which I know you're like Killian in a 10 team, but
Killian. I just don't want to overreact. I've been bitten by Killian.
I am not. Times. Yeah, my thought is like if Killian turns into a pumpkin, I'm not like kicking myself for making that trade.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
And I think Trae right there talked about it. I mean, CJ averaged 39 last year. Giddey averaged 30. Yeah, obviously different teams, but I mean, Pelicans dealing with injuries, and CJ's been able to do CJ stuff. So yeah, I think it's fine.
Do it now.
The waiver wire's dry. Ooh, you're gonna spice it up with Jaden Ivey there. See if you can flip. Find somebody who has a player that they would be worth dropping, and try to flip Ivy real quick for a little. You know what I'm saying? You do Ivy in a second piece for a 1. 2 for 1. Yeah, sorry, that's my trade brain going crazy.
Oh, it makes sense. Do that trade, and then can you even process that at the same time?
Yeah, some sites let you do like 3-team trades, but I never trust bringing in another person into the trade I'm doing.
I mean, I don't know. I think you can do it, but I was wondering if it would process that trade where he would have to drop someone to have an eligible roster to create another move. Do you know what I mean?
Usually when you are like doing the trade, it makes you do that. Like it doesn't let you type it in or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What players do you think I should go all in for trading rest of the year? Oh God, are you 0-5? So is this what I'm hearing? 0-7, 0-6. What is this, weeks?
I mean, I think we can do the studs pretty easily. Like the studs who are people think are outperforming expectations. So like, who's your like plant your flag guys? Like I love. Oh, you can't really trade for Hallie after tonight. Another point guard night. Hallie's my father. I didn't even see that message when I said that. I love Tyrese Hallie, dude. I need to get a Hallie jersey. All right, chat. Somebody in chat, type 1 if I should get a Halliburton jersey.
Somebody in chat, use code Canyon, get 100% deposit match, and we'll get.
Yeah, let's get us closer to that. Get us 5% of that jersey.
Plant my flag guy. I really want to play.
Thank you, Trae.
Actually,
I appreciate it, guys. Let's go. All right, I'm in. You convinced me. You should give me one too, dude. I will say I obviously the season started right now. I don't want to make any promises that can get me in legal trouble.
Oh boy, then you probably shouldn't say this then. Like, what are we doing here?
I don't even think it's that. No, it's not bad. We in the past we've done like jersey giveaways as like a prize for like we did like a follower subscriber league or something.
Oh yeah, we can do one for All-Star break. I think we can think of something for All-Star break too.
Oh yeah, that'd be cute.
This is a man's show.
That would be dope.
That would be sick, dude.
That'd be sick. Hallie, dude, is Hallie like point? Is he? If somebody called Halliburton the point guard, would you like think twice? You think you need to see a full season of this?
I'd be like, yeah, heck yeah. But if we're like having an extensive conversation, they're like dying on that hill. It's like, okay, buddy, like we get it, we love Hallie, but like,
who's point guard do you?
Chris Paul.
How many seasons of this Hallie do you need to see for him to be the new point guard?
10. You look at Chris Paul's career.
He does not.
Don't give me that ring bull crap. Don't give me that.
He does this for 9 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like point guard, it's Chris
I know,
Paul.
I know, 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 I know. I'm just
Hallie is
trolling.
goated. He's awesome. I love him so much.
He's such a good
I
guy
will.
too.
I'll call him the point guard, but like if we're talking legitimately, at the end of
Yes,
the day,
okay,
if I'm
that's fair.
looking back, just trying to answer. Iowa State legend. That's right. Cyclones, baby.
Yes,
God, I wanted the
sir.
Pistons to grab him. I told Baylor. I said we can get Hallie at 7. We got Killian, which hey, looking better.
Yeah,
But we could have had him instead of
he's
Killian.
been Hallie Jr.
Not only did we
Kinda.
pass up on him, but like,
Dude, I
whatever.
know.
I don't want to get into that. I got Kawhi, Dame, Pirtle, Middleton, Fred, Siakam, Monk. Oh God, injury. Jalen Brown, Ayton, Luca,
Oh, I missed.
Markel.
I think we missed a. Sorry, we missed a trade up here. What do you think about when I was trying to get people
Yeah,
to tell me to get the
I
Hallie
forgot
jersey?
to move the chat.
What do you think about Harden and Laurie for Curry and KPJ?
Harden, Laurie for Curry and KJ. Is it
Yeah,
points
is it
league?
points or a cat? Let us know.
I'm wondering if Gabe, because he mentioned stuff earlier, so I'm trying to look back to see if he mentioned it.
Yeah, I'll get totally tubular. Exactly.
He's in a
Um,
10 team.
Claxton's been really nice, dude. I will say, shout out to Canyon. Canyon was he was a bigger Claxton guy than I was this season.
Yeah,
He's
big
definitely
Clarkson.
outperformed what I thought he would be doing for this team. Another trade I was offered, so it's an inbox trade. I give up Fred VanVleet and Kelly Olynyk for Bi and Claxton. Speak
Ooh,
of the
I like
devil.
that. I like that. I like BI and Clarkson. Gut instinct says, yeah, BI and Clarkson.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Clarkson over Olynyk long term. I like kind of like BI over.
Yeah, I wish when's
Totally
Bi
too.
coming back?
One of my
It should be soon,
infirmary
right?
guys.
One of another add him to the infirmary.
Dude, if you look at my fantasy team, it's the Miami Heat pregame player sheet. It's just
It's
out,
the Miami, yeah.
out, questionable.
Out GTD.
Dude, it's so frustrating. Um,
I know he was
he
doubtful for that Pistons game. I thought he was supposed to be coming back soon.
will probably be back soon.
It's like a toe, isn't it? I had
Yeah.
8 outs last week. Jeez, man. 8-man points.
It's 8-man points, and you were the one talking about Harden.
Yeah, Harden
Laurie.
and Laurie for Curry KPJ.
That's a tough one. I think I like Curry.
I think
I think
it's a fair trade. I really think it's fair.
Yeah, because I mean, I think Curry over Harden probably in points, the way Curry's been playing,
Yeah.
and the injury to Harden. Uh, Probably Laurie. I mean, KPJ's.
I know. I think they're really close. I think people would be surprised.
I kind of
At where KPJ's at.
I kind of want to go Harden Laurie though.
Yeah, I think I slightly go Harden Laurie.
And if you're the one giving up Harden, like I would stay with Laurie.
Yeah, I do think it's really close, but yeah, I think I go Harden Laurie.
8 outs this week. You like Claxton even given Simmons' return? Yes, I like Claxton no matter who's on that roster, who's healthy, who's not, because they don't have incredible depth at the center position. That's why I liked him heading into the season. Day'Ron Sharp is their backup, and he's an undersized center anyway. With Ben Simmons, I think it's even better because Ben Simmons pushes the pace pretty well, and Claxton's a good rim runner. They just don't have like someone that can fill that Claxton role. I don't think so. I like him to have some pretty safe minutes. So I like Claxton. Should drop Ivy in a points league. 8-man. Only our drop candidates I have are Smart and Clay. Yeah, 8-man.
It's too shallow of a league to hold Ivy. I get it. I
definitely.
get that. Bol Bol to hold rest of the season. Yeah, I know we got some trades on like trying to trade Bol Bol in a 10-team 9-cat.
I would probably trade him, but
yeah, I think it's tough though because it's like, what do you realistically think you could get for Bol Bol in like a cat? You think you get Ben Simmons?
Maybe. Would you rather have Brook Lopez or Bol Bol?
Gosh, I don't want to talk about Brook Lopez anymore.
I think I'd rather have Brook Lopez.
I know, dude. I called him a freaking.
I'd rather have Brook Lopez. I don't know if you could do that though.
He's just averaging 3 blocks a game.
He probably couldn't get that anyway. Definitely couldn't get that.
Yeah, I guess I go Brook. Ugh.
Durant and Aaron Gordon or Booker.
Brook's playing good minutes, so like that's kind of my like nod to Brook. I don't hate Bol Bol
I
or
think
anything.
to me, I think it's clearly Brook.
Yeah, I just hate that about Brook Lopez.
That's okay. We don't have to. We'll move on. KD, Aaron Gordon, or Booker and CJ. I'd go Booker and CJ. I like the discrepancy of CJ over Aaron Gordon much more than I like the discrepancy of KD over.
Yeah, I do really like KD though, but I agree.
I'm kind of an Aaron Gordon hater though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon's so like frustrating to talk about from a fantasy perspective because it's just like every 5th game, it's just like he's
been hot lately. I just don't believe him to sustain this kind of play he's been doing. But
yeah, no MPJ.
Right now, it's KD, Aaron Gordon. I think long term for CJ, that's a tough one.
I mean, you think how much do you think Booker falls off like the season from what he's been doing? I firmly believe this is going to be Book's like best like points per game season, but I don't know if it'll be what he's been. You know what I'm saying? I know he's had some like disappointing games, but he's had that like crazy stretch. But I think he averages like 28 points.
Yeah,
he's a headache, 100%. I agree.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Reagan? Do you think trading away Grant for Simmons is a good trade?
I'd probably hold Grant. I like Grant's.
It's gotta be Cat, right?
Yeah, probably. Cat. Yeah, Cat. Go Grant for sure. Points still a little closer. Space to the fall. If he's been top 40. Wait. What is that reference to? Who should be targeted?
Bol Bol.
Oh, Bol Bol.
Yeah, in a cat league, yeah. It's points.
I agree, Shai. I agree. I also anticipate a fall off when those guards come back. We've already seen a fall off in minutes with Fultz back, let alone those guys. It's a points league, so man, that makes it tougher.
I don't think you'll ever. We like Simmons, but I think this is one of those trades where it's like it's hard for me to believe you'll be like disappointed. That's kind of the way I like gauge trades.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Let's see. We saw that.
What's going on with Fox lately? I think he's just not been shooting great in some of these games. I mean, he's had some like pretty hyper efficient games up until this season. Like he's shooting his best, shooting 51% from the field, 37% from 3. Yeah, I think it's just like a cold stretch and not super high volume in some of these most recent games. So I wouldn't be like too worried about it, but I think he'll be somewhere in between his hottest stretch at the start of the season and what he's done in this past stretch. So I wouldn't freak out or anything. I like Fox.
Yeah. I think it's been a pretty tough matchup stretch too, if I'm not mistaken. There might be some blowouts in there that hurt him.
All right, let's do this. Let's give Manveer. What players do you think I should trade for though in a points league? Let's give him a stud, like a realistic stud you could trade for. Let's give him a middling, and then let's give him a sleeper. Let's do it. This is for you, Manveer. All right, you better be subbed and liked.
Yeah,
I'll find out. There's probably a site I can find who's liked and subbed the channel. I'll make sure you are, or you'll be banned. Just kidding. All right, stud. Although we're talking like first 2 rounds. I don't know. It's like hard to like say like who you should trade for.
A stud that isn't like to me it'd be like Hallie, but that's a buy. Like that's a
like who's a let's do top 3 rounds. Who's like maybe like 3rd round, like a 3rd-ish round value guy. Who do you think you should trade for? So I'm talking about like maybe guys like Dame and Bam. And, yeah, I like that. Sabonis.
I like Sabonis because I think it's a guy that's like not super unattainable where you have to have kind of a dumb trade to try to get him. I don't think he's like
he did just have a pretty crazy night though.
Yeah, I don't think like whether you do it now or like this week. I don't think he's one of those guys where it's like no way I'm trading this guy on my team like a Luka, right? Someone like that. So
yeah,
Sabonis I think is a guy that you can realistically create a package for.
Are you trying to trade for Jokic?
I don't.
Or do you think he'll be like this season? which is not bad. I'm literally just pointing to like the scoring.
The points are
It's
just
not
down,
bad at all. It's just the scoring.
Yeah, my fear is because it's Jokic, you could try to trade for him, but I think the people that are going to have to give him up are going to value him like he's averaging 20, you know?
Yeah, you're not. I don't think you'll be able to get Jokic for. I mean, I think you might be able to like. I think the flips that you'd be able to do for Jokic, I wouldn't like. I don't think are like.
You probably
Oh
have to do like
do that. You know.
Yeah, you'd have to do like a Tatum for Jokic or like a Embiid for Jokic or.
I was supposed to have Hallie, man. I went on Chrome to check Kawhi injury update, and the pick didn't go through, even though I queued him. It picked.
Oh!
Oh, those were the two guys. I took Hallie the
second round.
No. Oh yeah, I did. I had a late first. I think I had the 10th overall pick. I took Ja, points league, and then Hallie on the wraparound.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's poetry.
It's
almost like I'm professional. Just kidding. I'm not gonna call myself professional.
Poetry.
I just like talking fantasy with you guys. The way I see it, Fox equivalent to Ja, but Lowry's is definitely better than Ivy. I think I missed something here.
Do I give up Bam for Triple J?
Triple J.
The way I see it, Fox equivalent to Ja, but Lowry's definitely better than Ivy. Wait, what does that have to do with? Oh, right here. Do you guys think I made the right move by trading Lowry and Fox for Ja and Ivy for points like a couple weeks ago?
I don't think Fox is necessarily equivalent to Ja. I think I would. I mean, I think the I will say the difference between Ja and Fox
is closer than Lowry to Ivy.
Yeah, but I don't think it's like super significant.
Yeah,
like, I do. I mean, Lowry's had some really. I mean, Lowry's had a pretty better season than I expected.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting the best player out of that, and then when it comes down to Lowry and Ivy, yeah, Lowry's better, but like Lowry still has his issues where he could be a risk on your team.
Yeah,
and Ivy's a high upside play. He's just not kind of panning out.
I don't think Ivy will. I don't think Ivy will lose you your week as much as Ja will win you your week. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I see the trade.
Sure.
Ja has like these. Oh, what do you have tonight? A 29-point triple double.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. What are we doing?
Yeah.
I love Fox though. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
Yeah.
Jokic, Sabonis, and Hallie. Yeah, and I think Jokic is one that I don't even like. I'm gonna be real, guys. I didn't really waste my time trying to buy low on Jokic because the guy that drafted Jokic first overall does not want to sell him low. You know, like so for me it was kind of like I'm not going to give you my like first round pick for Jokic straight up unless obviously a late but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think I would stress about the Jokic thing. I would maybe just go like Sabonis or Hallie or I mean, who would be other decent guys that were third round picks.
What about trading for Jimmy Butler? I'm not a big. I mean, I think Jimmy isn't. I mean, he's not like a buy low or anything at this point. I mean, he's like, what is he sandwiched? He is sandwiched between Donovan Mitchell and DeJounte Murray in fantasy points per game.
Right. I don't think he's a buy low,
like
and I know
injury stuff.
Yeah, I don't think he's a buy low, and I don't think he's going to play a ton of games. He hasn't played over 60 games in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So there's other people that I would go for.
Yeah.
Ja over Fox by half a mile. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like Ja.
Fox was having a great season. I like Fox still.
Yeah, I think my thing is like Ja. It is surprising when Ja doesn't give you like a superstar game, right?
Yeah.
And I know it sounds so corny to say, but you guys know what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. When Ja doesn't give you like arguably like the best fantasy production in your matchup for the night, you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like Ja didn't have that crazy of a night, versus like what you expect from Fox. Yeah. So studs are Jokic, Sabonis, and Hallie. Yeah, I think probably Sabonis and Hallie. I think Sabonis is probably the like one that's easiest to attain. I'm not saying he's on the level of Hallie and Jokic, but I think you get what I'm saying. What about for a sleeper? All right.
I mean, I don't know if he classifies as a sleeper, but I think there's a lot of people that have pretty low value of him, and we talked about him already. People might totally disagree with me, but I think it's Ben Simmons. In a point league specifically, yeah. I think he's got really good upside still. We started to see a little bit before he got hurt again. But again, like he's injury prone, so people are going to have low expectations of him. there's just all the memes about him already anyway. I think people have a lot lower value of him than they should. And so I think Ben Simmons is a guy that's, not maybe like a late, mid, early, like between the middle and late rounds of drafts where people probably got him. I think he's a guy that you could probably get for a decent price right now and has really good upside in a points league.
Yeah.
I know it's a pretty polarizing take, so.
Yeah. I don't mind. I know we talked about him a lot tonight. I don't know. What are your thoughts on I'm not saying that in the same way that you talked about Simmons is how I feel about this guy, but what about Jaden Ivey? And it's not necessarily my thoughts about like his production for the rest of the season, but I think the Ivy owner, because we've got some people who are dropping Jaden Ivey, depending on like how many teams are in the league. Obviously, like he might not be worth the acquisition if you're in like an 8 or a 10, obviously. But I think his value is just super low, especially after some of these games where like Killian's having this like solid production and Jaden Ivey's just like doing nothing. It's very expendable. Yeah, for sure. But I think it's a question of like how many teams are in your league, right? I think Jaden Ivey's a guy who I'm happy to like buy low on in like 12, 14 team leagues, but I don't think he's a must roster in 8 or 10. All right, Trae Jones. Oh wait, I was thinking about trading Luka for. No, you're not thinking that. You changed your mind and you are no longer thinking that. You are not thinking about trading Luka for Jokic.
Yeah, I like Luka more. They're pretty close.
Think
for
of
fantasy
thoughts.
points per game. I think Jokic's actually above him in fantasy points per game, but
wait, what?
Yeah, I think it's Luka. I think isn't Jokic higher than Luka right now in fantasy points per game?
In points leagues?
23. No, yeah, you're right. Not even close.
Yeah, I mean Luka's been on another level. But yeah. I mean, if you go back to our early videos, I mean, I think a lot of the fantasy community had Jokic as the clear. It's Luka by a lot. Yeah, it is. I think at the beginning of the season, I think most fantasy people, so we're going to talk about ourselves. I think most fantasy people said Giannis, Luka, Jokic. Those are the top 3 tiered. It is Luka, and then it's like, okay, maybe you put up like Giannis and those guys in that tier a little bit, but he's just been on another level, dude. And it's just like, it's not close. All right, I'm not even gonna. Kills and free throws a cat. Yeah, I will say in categories, I think it's a conversation.
Sorry, he's human.
Dude, yeah. What did we there were like stats where like Luka in some of those games was just shooting better from like step back 3 specifically than for the free throw line.
Yeah.
He should do that. Just ask the ref if he can scoot back and like shoot a step back with like Christian Wood in his face or something. Okay. We can move on. The reason I made the Lowry and Fox for Ivy and Ja Trae is because I'm 7-0 with Luka. This team is nasty. Luka, Harden, AD, Paul George, Levine. You get Ja too. Holy.
Yeah, give me that. GG's.
I feel like I can't wait for. Oh yeah.
7-0 too.
2 free.
GG's. Ask for the Venmo now. Yeah. Trae Jones or Ben Simmons. You want to touch on that?
Yeah. Did you ask me because I'm a big Trae guy?
It's funny because you're a big Trae guy. I'm a big Simmons guy. I like Trae too.
Yeah.
But I've been kind of planting my flag on Simmons. You've been planting your flag on Jones.
I will say, like, I don't even know if I've been like a plant flagger for Trae. But I really did expect, and I'm gonna like say that I was wrong. I expected the scoring to be a little bit better than what it's been. Like 12 points per game. I really thought for this team, like obviously Keldon and Vassell, I expected to play a big part in that. But I really thought Trae could be like a 15-7 guy. And right now he's like a 12-7, which is good, but just not what I thought the upside was.
I think it might be Trae Jones just because of the amount of games played he should have over Simmons.
Yeah. And two, I mean, Simmons, I think gives you like stronger rebounding floor, but they'll be pretty close.
Yeah, assists will be pretty close probably at the end of the day. Defensively, I'm like usually Ben Simmons, I tip my cap because defensively he's so strong, but Trae Jones is a good defender too.
Yeah.
So he gets the edge on points. Defense is like pretty watchable. Rebounds goes to Ben. Assists are close. It's a close one, but I think I'd probably give it to Trae.
Yeah, I just like having Trae Jones too on my roster more than Ben. That's my
Safer.
pick.
Definitely safer.
Yeah. All right. I think we we went up on an hour 40 here. Appreciate you guys hanging out in chat. Usually we like hit the hour mark and we're like, let's wrap it up. But man, when I'm talking with you guys, I don't even know what time it is.
Time flies that you guys did.
Appreciate you guys in the chats. Wait, one more. All right, I got you. This one's for you, Trae.
Nope, we already said it. Sorry, Trifecta. Gotta come in next.
See you in the next one. All right, let's hear it. You guys are dope. Thanks a lot. Hey, appreciate you guys. Honestly,
I think you're dope, but if you're not subscribed and didn't like the video, then like you're kind of cool. But you could be really dope. You know what I mean, AP?
I feel like the moment was ruined with the marketing pitch. I'm gonna be honest.
You took any AP classes in high school, Will?
I did. Actually, do you want to know? I took a AP Calc, and then I didn't take the
test.
I'm gonna be real, guys. I wasn't a great student.
I'm gonna piggyback off this. I already know what you're gonna say.
No, I was like I was a do my homework at lunch kind of guy for the class that I had the next period.
Nerd.
No, for the class that I was about to go to.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Right. So AP classes that you actually had to like try in were not great for me because I couldn't just like cruise through them. So I took the class and then never took the AP test because I knew I would not pass it.
Yeah, I had 3 AP classes my senior year.
Oh, okay. And wow.
I had AP Physics, AP English, and AP Calc. I took all 3 tests. I failed them all. I was going to say I was a great student. 4.0, no big deal. But man, test taking is not my strong suit. Holy.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's a true thing. You know, you're in high school.
I'm just like Hail Mary every time.
Yeah, dude. People say all the time when you're in high school, they're like, "Oh, I'm not a good test taker." Everybody's like, "Yeah, okay, you're just dumb, dude." And now in hindsight, I'm like, "Damn, like I feel this way people now, man. That's a real thing."
Just blowing money on it. Yeah, it's so tough. I think that was part of it too. I was like, I just don't want to let my mom down. I don't even think she knew I was in an AP class.
I didn't want to take the test, and my mom was like, "You need to take it. I'll pay for it." And I'm like, "Better pay for it. I'm in high school. I'm not making $60K up in a year. Like, what are we doing?" And then I failed them all, so it's kind of funny.
Hey, I think the plan was set, and that's why you're talking about NBA fantasy instead of in a lab somewhere doing something good for society.
Instead of studying for my AP tests, I was looking at like Zach Randolph for the Grizzlies. Dude, when I was in middle school, the first time I ever played fantasy basketball, I was so into it that I would because I was in a 9-cat, I would add up all the numbers on a calculator and I'd add it to my team total and like take the averages to see how it would affect like the field goal percentage for the next day before the system did it.
This man Excel.
I would be up at like 1 a.m. typing it all in because I just wanted to know what my matchup would be the next day. I was so into it.
Oh, dude, I'm a big I fantasy football and stuff. I would take rankings that I would find from sites and like every matchup I have, I would like put them in a sheet. And then I would like take their range of what I expected them to score fantasy points wise. And I would do like the low amount versus the high amount. And I would like try to calculate it out and like, okay. All right, I'm a nerd. I'm exposing.
Yeah, the trifecta's been waiting for us.
All right, here we go. Yep. Please give me an ultimatum on
Giddy. CJ. Killian Hayes trade. I'm currently 7-0. And ultimatum. So you want
he just wants us to pick 10 team points.
Oh, let's do. We talked about this, didn't we? Didn't we come to a decision?
We did. I was very much in the camp of even if Hayes turns into a pumpkin, I don't think Giddy for CJ is like disgustingly bad. I'd prefer Giddy, but I don't think it's that bad. I'm looking a long term, and I think my thing is I do think Cade is probably out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think if Killian turns into a pumpkin, it's not because his role just falls off a cliff.
Yeah, let's do CJ and Hayes.
Lock it in.
You're also talking to Pistons fans, so sorry.
That's true.
Sorry. He's let us down. It's about time you let someone else down.
Right, yeah. We've dealt with Killian Hayes letting us down.
That was your turn.
It's like a curse. We passed it on to like other fantasy managers because it's not. Thanks. Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you guys. I always played fantasy football and didn't realize how addictive fantasy. Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing too. It's like the way you like get into football, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys were like fans of your favorite football team before you played fantasy football. And then you're like, wow, I get to watch the whole league and like have in mind how fantasy stuff's going. and you get to do that for the NBA, man. And you're like watching games every night. Like I'm sure a lot of you guys wouldn't watch as much basketball if you weren't into fantasy.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna hate dropping Cade, not doing it. No, I don't think he's a drop, especially if you. I mean, if you have
not yet,
obviously IL injury, I do want to see. Dude, it's so weird. Like I don't want to get into it. I mean, we see him shooting around. You know, part of you is just like, are you feeling better, Cade? Like, is this not a shit?
Someone tell me what's going on.
He said, just kidding. It wasn't that bad.
Wait, what's wrong with Ivy? Was he playing so bad as the coach? Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. I think it's the inconsistency and rotation.
Yeah. And it's the rookie.
And he's transitioning to the NBA already. He did well, but he was alongside Cade, which really helped. And it was a consistent lineup. It was a consistent, game plan for him, more or less. And now, you're bringing in Bay off the bench some games, and you have Bagley that was hurt who came back, and you have Stewart that was in and got hurt and left, and now you have all these different rotations and lineups and probably schemes, and I think he's just not adjusted to it yet. And again, yeah, he is a rookie, and now he's playing with like all these different lineups all of a sudden as a rookie in the NBA. It's got to be a little tough. So I'd give him a little bit more time. I think he's just kind of struggling with that a little bit. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think I add too much off of that. And he's a rookie too. Like I think that's kind of another thing. Like I think people might have gotten, I don't want to say duped, because I think he has the upside to do that kind of stuff, especially without Cade. But I think some of these games where he's like giving you like double-digit peripherals is like not something you expect from him this season. But yeah, are you guys both from Detroit? I grew up like an hour and a half from Detroit. So I would never tell anyone that I'm like from Detroit. I'm a Detroit sports fan. But I didn't grow up in the area.
I'm on the west side of Michigan, like by Grand Rapids area.
Don't dox yourself, man.
I live in.
Move.
Yeah.
No, it's all good.
I live right by.
Nah, we're
the Grand Rapids police station.
I trust you guys. I'll give you my address. I know you'll probably have heard this, but similar to Ja in terms of play style. I think he's gonna get to that level. I will say, I love Jaden Ivey. I thought we were gonna see the like Ja at the rim kind of stuff, where he's like aggressive. He has surprised me with facilitating and 3-point shooting. I thought he was gonna. I really thought I was gonna have to defend Ivy a lot more than I've had to, because I thought he was gonna have way worse shooting splits. I thought he was gonna have way bigger turnover problems and not have the decent assist games that he's had. So I think I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that he has Ja Morant upside, but I think he'll be able to be like a
special player.
I know it's so hard when people talk about the upside of players, especially rookies, right? Where it's like, do you think he can get there? I mean, one of the most exciting players in the league right now. All right, last question here, and then I'm closing the stream. All right, the only messages I want to see are thanks for the stream, smiley face, heart, see you next time, exclamation point.
Your code on Underdog.
Yes. The only messages I want to see is I just clicked the link in the description to sign up on Underdog, get 100% deposit match up to $100 using code Canyon, and that has to be a word for word. Head to head, right? Head to head points league 10-man trade. Giannis. I love autocorrect on stuff like Giannis. Giannis for Ja and DeAndre Ayton. 10 team head to head points. Appreciate that clutch.
I don't think I want to give up Giannis.
I know it's tough though, right? Because I don't think DeAndre Ayton is not like a nothing piece, right?
No.
But I love Ja too. My brain just does this thing where it's like, would you trade the 102 for the 108 and like a 4th round pick? Like that's what my brain does when I see these trades. But
I would try to see if you can get someone better than Ayton. Honestly.
Yeah, I would too. I think if he's sending you that trade, he's I don't know if it's an inbox offer or you sent it out. Yeah, John Ayton.
I would try to get.
I would counter with something better. I don't think it's a awful trade. Yo, looky, Ayton gonna fall off after Paul back. I don't think it'll be like that awful, but I think he's been better than what I expect for the full season in some of these games.
Giannis is like 8 games in a row with 30 or more, and not only like 30 or more, like pushing 40 on 8 games in a row.
It's okay. My thing is it's a 10 team.
100% deposit match. Let's go, AJ.
Appreciate that, boy. Or girl.
Yeah.
I don't know why I winked after the girl. I feel like me winking after the girl made it not as like accommodating as I felt it was. Yeah. How often you guys go live has been good. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, you typically it's probably like every couple days. So we won't usually do like a back-to-back stream. Usually how we tend to stretch things out is we're doing a stream every few days, and you guys are getting some kind of like YouTube video content, whether it's waiver wire pickups, we do some like updated rankings mid-season, or spoiler, we've got a fun
Ouch.
Are you good, man?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We gotta get you a stream deck so you can mute yourself when you're gonna do something.
I can mute myself. Look.
All right, way to go.
I have the power to mute myself. I just want to be as
practice
as possible. So when I get an ankle cramp, you guys know it's not the groin. I appreciate the concern.
Canyon questionable to return to the stream with a groin injury.
Oh, God.
He's out for a week. Solo will streams like the other night. All right, appreciate you guys. So yeah, sorry, trifecta. Answer your question. Every couple days, so it's going to be pretty inconsistent. But some of these big slates, like we had tonight, we do try to stream. It's just probably not going to be a back to back. So we're not going to stream tomorrow because we stream tonight. And usually on the weekends, a lot of times we don't stream. I don't even want to say that because sometimes we do stream on the weekends. All right, never mind. Take that back. Don't listen to me. I appreciate you guys. Sign up for Underdog using code Canyon. Link in the description. Anything else, Canyon?
Subscribe, all the cliche YouTube stuff. Thanks for watching.
Have a good night.
Like, subscribe.
Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas. Go Blue. My dad's birthday's tomorrow.
Happy birthday to my dad.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right, perfect.
Get some good rest. Drink some water.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Pops for sure.
Thanks, boys.
Is he gonna real quick? This is a quick timeout because I think it's just so funny to me. If you guys don't know, which I know you don't, so I don't know why I said that. Canyon's dad does not watch Michigan games. He doesn't watch them live.
Any sport, any Michigan football or basketball.
He will watch it. They record it and he'll watch it. And correct me if I'm wrong. If they won, he'll watch the game, knowing the result that they won.
Yep. So
which I know you're like crazy. You're like what a crazy person. But and I don't want to put this out there if you don't want to talk about it, if you're not comfortable. Stop me. Are you not comfortable? Can I talk about this?
No, go ahead.
All right.
We're talking about Michigan.
It's a self-awareness thing, right? He gets really into it, right? And he gets really frustrated if they are struggling or end up losing.
Yep.
I love that self-awareness that he's like, I know that like gets at me, so like I'm not gonna do it.
And it started as self-awareness, and it's now, because they're good again, it's now turned into, well, now they do well when I don't watch. And
right,
so we gotta watch like the Big Ten championship game. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, we should beat Purdue, and if it lose, we're still in the playoffs.
So and this is just a question. So like, I assume you guys are gonna do some kind of like, your family's gonna watch the game. He's not gonna do it. He's gonna.
No, he's like, he goes hunting or like goes out to like,
I love that.
Something that gets him away from it.
Time alone.
And so I call him at the end of the game, every game. I call him like, "Hey, Dad, we won," and then he'll watch it at night. He'll probably watch it like 3 times, literally. Like, he'll watch it at night. My brother will come over to his house and watch it again with him after just watching it, and then he'll watch it the next day on Sunday.
Do you have to give the call if they lose, or is it just no call and he just knows?
It's no call. I show up when I see him, and I'm like,
it's just this face.
He lost. Yeah, I don't remember what that's like because we haven't lost this year. So.
All right. Yeah, he's more of a college football fan than college basketball.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys. All right, appreciate it. Peace out.
Yes, he does. But he said, does he still get mad when they're playing Madden? Yes, that's the other funny thing is we'll watch it. He knows they win, and there's like a call or something play that happens, and he gets pissed at the refs. It's like, damn, we won this game. What are we doing here?
Come
It's
on.
funny.
I love
Yeah,
that.
it's like that's a garbage. Rewind it. I'm like, dude, get over him. We won the game. Just get to the good plays. It's so.
I love it. I respect it. Oh, that's so good. It's like hearing a movie was good and watching it. Yeah, for sure. No, it's not even that. It's like hearing a movie
This is
was
what
good,
happens in the
and
movie.
then, yeah, you watch this movie explained on YouTube, and then you go
Yeah,
watch it.
it's like okay, this main character does not die in the movie. Okay, I'll watch it.
All right, I appreciate you guys. Hey, sleep tight. Great stream. Much
And your
fun.
2 hour stream. Wow.
Dang.
All right, appreciate you guys. Peace out.
Peace out.